Okay, so let's see what we got here. So your job essentially is to like pay attention to when your Winston is going in, and leverage your pressure aggressively. Yeah, so this is important. What's the issue here, chat? What's the mistake here? What's the mistake? Ignoring Sombra. Exactly. The point being is it's not just ignoring Sombra, it's the fact that you established a really nice angle here. So as Tracer, when you establish a really nice angle, it better be really something really good that makes you leave it. Think of it this way. You're Soldier, you got high ground. You do not drop off of that high ground for any reason unless there's like a Reinhardt that's literally 1 HP beneath you and you can't shoot him. And you drop in like Helix rocket him in the face, right? You're giving up good position to get a pick. This situation here, you have a phenomenal angle on these guys. You can control the map. You can pressure the Sombra out very easily by yourself. You can get health pack, go pressure Ana. You can pressure Zarya. You can pincer, right? And what you do is you go, okay, I'm here, I'm set up. And then you walk into the middle of the enemy team, giving up the good position that you set up to go kill a Brig that ends up getting out anyway. And then even worse, you drop and now you're completely mispositioned entirely. Using recall and staying in would have been the play because he could have, used recall and then stayed here and then run away. Sombra can't chase him. She's not good enough at dueling him. Tracer is good, can beat a Sombra in a 1v1. And you can see that here because you recall. You look at Zarya's not even looking at you anymore. And you just completely give up your position. Because here's what you're thinking, chat. You're thinking, oh, but we all have to focus the same target. And I think to an extent there's a reason for that being okay. But think about it this way. If you focus the Sombra right now, is this Sombra going to get any help? No. If you focus the Zarya right now, let's say you focus the Sombra out, she's not going to get any help. She's going to have to translocate out. Where is she going to translocate out to? She's going to translocate out to... Where is her translocator? So she'll translocate all the way out to here. You can chase and get this kill. Or, even if you don't get this kill, she translocates out, then the Ana has to pocket her. Meanwhile, what's happening? Her Brig is being bum rushed. And her Zarya is being bum rushed. So then you force the Sombra out. You can go kill the Sombra, pressure the Ana, or you can leave them and then you pincer on the Zarya Brig, who, by the way, have no healing from Ana and have no support from their Sombra. Yes, it's absolutely worth. So the goal is that it's more important for you to be at a good position than it is for you to be shooting the same target, because the good position will provide more value than you shooting the same target. Does that make sense? Because indirectly, you'll support your target focus more than you did here. Because like, look at what you did here. You were on a good position, you go in, you don't do anything here. You don't contribute any damage. You tickle the Brig slightly. You do 15 damage. What you would have done bullying the Sombra out and then taking the Ana's attention would have been worth way more than 15 damage to the Brig. And would have, ironically, had a higher chance of resulting in her kill. And that's because you had a good position. Now, my problem with this is you've got a couple options here. You're frontlining right now. Your options here are, A, you can go and duel the Ana, which obviously is a little risky, but she doesn't have Sleep Dart anymore. Like, you go and duel Ana, maybe you find Translocator. Like, in your job here would not to be to kill Ana, it would just to be to bait Sleep, bait Nade, to force either Sleep or Nade or both, right? And then you can just leverage this angle right here, okay? Probably your best option. The other option is to drop the point and set up an angle here and pressure Monkey out, right? And you could go like, honestly, like here even, and make them drop to contest you. Set up your angle here. This is the worst thing that you could do. The worst thing you could do. Because right now, again, you're frontlining. You see this? Your value here is so very low because all of your threats are directly in front of you, can easily and directly contest you, etc. So you're going to blink in, but like, what have you really done? You capping point is fine, but that wasn't it. You're feeling like you have to force kills. Like, she just can't duel you. So this is fine. Your team is going to take high ground here, at least some of you them, and you're going to pincer from this point as well. So this is good. And what you could do from here is you can control this side of the map. Their Sombra can't come out and like come out of stealth anywhere on this side of the map because you're going to force her out. This monkey can't flank on this side of the map without you scouting him and you pressuring him out. Your job as Tracer here isn't necessarily to force dives in the backline, but to protect your position, to protect the map, right? Take an angle and just put pressure from the angle. And do so at the same time as your team. Like the Sombra just can't. Like she just can't do it. Like she just can't take this position. She's not farming EMP. She's not in a good angle to set up on your team. And if she comes, it's not obviously she's invisible, so she can just walk right past you. But if she comes out of stealth here, you're gonna kill. You're gonna prevent her. If she comes out of stealth here, you're gonna come at her. If she comes out of stealth here, you're gonna be right at her. So you're able to like basically mean that this Sombra cannot pressure your team from this angle, or this angle. She's and look at her. Look at this. She's all the way back in her backline, and now they're going in with Nanoblade. That's terrible, terrible for the Sombra. So unfortunate, you guys get away with nano, like the Nanoblade like just shreds you up. That happens. But my problem here is this right here. So I don't think you necessarily need to be going through this way. I think you realize that the enemy team is pressing W, so now your angle needs to be directly to them. Let me put it this way. It's like, so for in fighting, here's the thing in fighting. There are combinations in striking that are responsive of what you expect the enemy fighter to do. For example, if I'm doing a kick, I almost always let me turn it here so I can actually see myself. If I'm doing a kick, I almost never open with a kick. I'm always going to open with a strike, because what that's going to do is I anticipate my enemy to cover or to give a little bit of space, just a little bit, right? So I strike, there's cover, gives a little space, and that little bit of distance allows me to get a kick safely, because kicks take a little more time, right? They have a little bit more range. It's very dangerous to kick somebody up close. It's very dangerous, right? So you strike with the anticipation of the kick. Another thing that you might do is you might have a combination where you throw a couple strikes and then you take a step with your rear hand and throw an elbow. Or you'll do a couple strikes and you can throw a lead hook as you step in, right? But you wouldn't open with this because you need something to make them back up. Now, you look at the situation here, you hear Nanoblade. What do you as Tracer anticipate out of the enemy team? You anticipate them to press W. You anticipate them to take space. So in that instance, here comes the Nanoblade. Where do you think your angle needs to be? Do you think they will be here any longer? That's where they were, but you know that they're taking space. So now you you don't go where they were, you go where they are. So you need to cut this short and pressure right here, or pressure right here. Either one of these would have been fine. What if we were the one nanoblading? If we were the one nanoblading, how would you angle? How would you position? How would you engage as Tracer? I'm not going to wait for an answer. I just want you guys to think about it. If we were the one nanoblading, you would have to deepen with the anticipation that the enemy team is going to be pressing S, right? So you would not, if we were nanoblading, you wouldn't go like this, because then they're just going to be tunneled on here. You would instead wrap around this way. And if you were, for example, if you were on high ground and you heard your friendly nanoblade, you wouldn't angle like this and blink through. If you heard nanoblade and you were up here, you would blink through this way and drop behind this way, because you're anticipating them to S key out. What's the issue here, chat? So first off, obviously every fight you lose against the Sombra becomes harder and harder to control the map, because she starts to control more and more mini health packs, so that becomes a problem. Like if this Sombra was smart, okay, yeah, she's hacked Mega. That's really problematic for us. So you're gonna have to be a little bit more patient and maybe play a little more in your Briggs LOS. But what's the issue with this ellipses? Okay. There's no follow-up. Exactly. It's not just the no follow-up, because you anticipate this to force attention, right? Forces shield. Genji looks at you on like this is good. Even if you miss your pulse, this is good, right? But the problem is that your team isn't in a position to push. You have to understand, chat, I don't care if it's Pulse Bomb or Nanoblade. It has to be done in synchronization with your team whenever you possibly can. If you have nobody in your team doing anything, or nobody in the enemy team doing anything, then there's going to be counterplay. You're going to get bashed. This Brig is going to shield it. You're going to get slept. You're going to get spammed out. Any value that you got from making them turn your head is now gone. So you have to think about it this way. Not only is it this valuable that your team is missing out on because you did it too early, it's also easier to stick people who aren't thinking about you. If your monkey jumps in this way and their Brig is packing the Zarya, she's not thinking about blocking a pulse bomb. She's thinking about packing a Zarya. So it's more likely that you're able to stick the pulse. So simultaneously, you punish them for not looking at you, but even if they do look at you, they get punished because they're looking at you while your team is doing something. Synergy is timing. It's always timing. Timing. This timing is bad. And honestly, even just the fact that you're poking here is a feed. This is a mistake. It works because your team just aggressively rushes in with Nanoblade, but you get nothing. Again, be very careful. Look at your team. No, stop. Gosh darn it. Like, look at this opportunity that you have here. And look at this is just delightful. Tracers in, tracers out, monkeys in, and monkeys out. Imagine if those had been timed together. Imagine. Even if that doesn't get a kill, it would have forced cooldowns, would have bought you some space, would have allowed you guys to push cart for free. Like maybe you get the Sombra to force Translocator or something. But where are you? You went in without your tanks, then your tanks go in after you. You can't do this. Yes, timing. This is a scrim. There's no excuse for this. And even if this is ranked, you just have to use your eyeballs. Even if your monkey is a complete beta and just sits on cart, when they can test your monkey on cart, that's when you do this crap. You know what I'm saying? When the enemy team does something or your team does something, that's your cue. But I think your positioning was okay. That's the first time we've said that in a while, yeah? But like right here, again, this is a situation where like obviously the fight's probably lost here, but you don't need to like be super nitpicky about your target priority here. Go for the Genji because he's 1. Go for the Zarya because she's low. Go for the Tracer because she's shooting you. You've got options here. The Ana just walked out of spawn. Like you're in a position now to where you have some decent cover and you can just literally pick and choose. It's like a buffet. All you can eat. Doesn't matter who you shoot. It's going to be the right choice. I would want you to clear high ground here with a Brig. Your team needs to always clear high ground. So yeah, your Brig is on high ground here. You need to remove the Tracer so that you guys prevent yourselves getting pincered. You need to go clear high ground here. You're going to establish your own angle, but I'd prefer you to clear out the enemy team's angle first. But you are a gnat. You play like a gnat, a distracting, annoying gnat that will sting you if you do not swat at it. Again here. Be very careful. Do not get your cooldowns first. So you're giving away the element of surprise, which kind of sucks. That's much better. Much better. Much better. So first off, you can see the problem here. Shooting here only gives away your position and doesn't do any meaningful damage. This BAP can do 1 bullet worth of damage, and he does more than almost an entire clip that you do at this range. So good on you for closing the distance here. And this is what you like to see. Look at this. 60 seconds. Look at this. Sleep and nade. Shift forced. Immortality field. This team is getting no support. No support whatsoever. This is really good positioning. This is really good timing. And you're playing it very disciplined as well. You're not greeding for a kill. Nice. Good job. Good job. Good job. This Tracer is so much less scary to your team now. So you can either put pressure on their flanks or you can defend your own. But what I like to do is when I'm retaking space, put pressure on their flanks first and then and then go pressure backline, right? Because their flanker, your backline's in the worst position, right? You look at this, your backline is unironically in a lot of danger here. Their backline is under no danger. And they're really hard to pressure. So I would clear out the flankers first. And then once you've cleared them out, just even like, hey, I forced a recall. Now you can kind of be like more flexible. Like this is fine. Just live here. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. You could even peel monkey if you want. Did you see how like you did a lot there without actually having to combine the dive with the Genji tracer? You peeled off the monkey. Oh, just clean. Like you prevented that tracer from getting value. You forced recall. You forced monkey out. Very good job. And now it's just cleanup. I mean, don't really care. You know you're gonna win. Very, very, very clean at the end there. Do you have any questions so far for your tracer? So what we look at with your tracer is like your ability to find a flank position, not give away your positioning too early, and then pressure whatever is available. Prioritize squishies or heroes that you can kill because that baits more attention. But honestly, just shoot if you don't have a squishy within easy LOS, just shoot what you shoot.